You're feeling uneasy, Ann. The feeling's growing. It's washing over you. Scream, Ann! Scream for your life! Herb, get the camera.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the big one, the cream of the crop, the tour de force of the Kong franchise, the film that pops into the minds of majority of viewers of this age demographic. To this day, the most successful Kong film at the box office, and the only one to take home an Academy Award so far. It's Peter Jackson's revitalization of King Kong. Released in December of 2005, Jackson's Kong went on to gross over $200 million at the home ground box office and was welcomed by a majority of audiences and critics. Although in recent years there seems to be a divide amongst fans and critics, often being regarded as nothing more than a shot-by-shot remake, a product of the mid-2000s, a film that all around doesn't really hold up well. Others, however, regard this film as an absolute masterpiece of cinema, being on par with the original in certain aspects, whilst adding to the original's legacy and being responsible for Kong's return to his true reign as King of the Monsters. Now, where do I stand? With the latter, of course. Yes, I absolutely love this film. I still remember the first day I actually saw this film. It was Halloween of 2006. I didn't catch this film in the cinema when it first came out because I had a fear of the cinema. Don't ask. I was in Dublin with my mum and she allowed me to buy a DVD. I looked around Game, I believe it was, and I came across a new copy of King Kong. I snatched it. The mere sight of the action-packed DVD cover with Kong smashing the airplane into front frame was the thing that hooked me right into the world of one of my most favourite franchises in film. This was, like for many others my age, my first Kong film, and it might just be my favourite. Being paid $20 million to direct a remake of his favourite film isn't it great for some? Jackson put love and effort into his creation right from the get-go. However, the get-go wasn't a few years before this film was released, it was all the way back in 1996. Many Kong fans are now aware of the greatest Kong film that was never made. The plot at the time was more of a love child between Kong and Indiana Jones. Many characters were changed around. Darrow, for example, was now the daughter of a high-class explorer. Jack Driscoll was an ex-pilot whose friend tragically died in battle, giving the character a bit of depth for a change. Denham was still a director, but was much more dark of a character and more malevolent at heart, caring nothing about his crew. The island itself was probably the best ever developed. By merely reading the script, I felt the murky waters, the deadly inhabitants creep their way into my own home. Kong would have gone back to the basics and gotten into a copious amount of battles with both humans and dinosaurs. Had it been made, it would have been great. However, due to financial difficulties, nothing came to fruition, and all we have is concept art to gaze upon. After the success of Lord of the Rings, Jackson was given another shot, and this time developed a more true-to-heart remake of the 1933 film. I'm not going to get into the whole plot, you know what it is, moving on. Naomi Watts takes over the Ann Dowd role from Fay Wray, and knocks it out of the park, once again adopting the mutual caring between the Beauty and the Beast. Instead of being the MacGuffin of the film and amounting to nothing more, Watts here is one that takes you on the journey from start to finish. From minute one it becomes her film. She encapsulates the character of a down-on-her-luck actress who really just wants to catch a break. Likeable, funny, Watts is the perfect small wonder in a very large world. Jack Black of all people jumps into the boots of Denham. So many were anxious as to whether or not he could truly pull it off as Denham, being always more of a serious character, with Black being mostly known for comedy, but all comedians have a dark side, and Black shows it here, portraying more of a stereotypical director, being overprotective of the equipment, fame before friends, fast talking, act first, talk later. Believe me, he comes straight off as a character from the 1930s Flash Gordon episode.
Did you get that, did you?
Only thing he was missing was a moustache to twirl. Okay, he's not that over the top. But Black certainly is more, pun 100% intended, black and white than the likes of Armstrong, who had layers to him. The original kept you guessing as to what his true intentions were. In the end, you supported him, and you felt bad for him, feeling the guilt on his neck. Here you wish Denham was the one who was shot down by the planes instead of Kong. And Adrian Brody steps into the shoes of the Driscoll character, now the writer of Denham's film instead of being first made. Firstly, I do actually enjoy this change, as it gives us a connection between Denham and Driscoll. They both work off each other well, allowing for some great comedic moments. Despite being likeable, once again the character is there to be the romantic lead and the hero who saves the damsel. Overall, Brody does a good job. I find him more likeable than Bridges, but not as charming as Cabot. Then there's the big guy himself, Kong, portrayed by one of the best actors working in cinema today, Andy Serkis. Fresh off his role in Lord of the Rings as Gollum, Serkis jumps back in the motion capture pajamas to portray the eighth wonder, and a wonder he is. Kong this time around is more humanized than any other interpretation of the character so far. Instead of just having a blank expression on his face for the runtime of the film, he emotes. Okay, not really like a true life gorilla, but this gorilla is 25 feet tall, so there you go. Anyway, this time around, Kong is more of a personality. A perfect example is the scene where he's thoroughly entertained by Darrow's dance recital. The film does, however, take its time to show the quieter moments in Kong's life. We get a hint for the first time as to what became of his predecessors. There's of course great sympathy for Kong's loneliness, a concept that will be further expanded upon in Kong Skull Island. His history is also seen in his design. Scars and battle damage are clearly apparent on his fur, adding to the conclusion that this is a Kong who has been through a very tough time. And yet, it's a group of minuscule creatures that in the end bring him down for good. For the first time in a Kong film, the supporting characters get a lot of screen time. Being a 3-hour movie, it allows the crewmates of the venture to become more fleshed out. I enjoy Serkis' actual physical presence in the film as the rather over-the-top cook. Hayes, the first mate, is also memorable. Not much is known about him or his past, but his strong father figure is felt throughout. Aside from Engelhorn, played by Thomas Kretschmann, who is also great, he's the one character who has any common sense, despite the fact that he goes out by trying to put a bullet from a pistol in Kong's head. Yeah, I'm sure that'll work. One of the main highlights of the film is the island itself, harkening back to the original film where the island looked like it could go on for miles upon miles, packed to the brim with wildlife through beautiful matte paintings. Now with the power of modern technology, 2D becomes 3D. With many of the establishing shots, it looks like no part of the island feels wasted. Even if we never explore that region, it appears that it's packed to the brim with detail, further blurring the line between fact and fiction. Same goes for the New York setting. Being a period piece, extensive amounts of special effects were required to sell the fact that the 30s were back, and boy are they. Same as the island, the setting is packed with detail and design. Given the opportunity, Jackson had the right mindset not only to pay homage to the original, but respect it as well, including the lost spider pit scene, the appearance of original props from the film, and even a sneak peek at the original pen script for the first draft of the original Kong. This film is an Easter egg hunter's dream come true. I know a lot of people are really mixed on this film, I really do, mainly for one reason. When given a film to remake, a lot of directors fall into the mindset of quantity over quality. If it's bigger, it must be better, and Jackson almost escapes this, just almost. I mean, why have one V-Rex fight when you can have 3? What if instead of the log teetering over the edge with the sailors helplessly grasping on for their dear lives, let's have a gunfight instead? Instead of one Brontosaurus, let's have a goddamn stampede with really bad CGI. Like what the hell, Weta? I guess it was just their lazy day. Despite these scenes being entertaining, they are unnecessary. The plot drives to a solid halt. Out goes the character development and the 3-hour runtime begins to show its face. The pacing is a bit off in the film. To many, the first third, yes, third, on the venture would be quite slow. But personally, I find an overall coziness to the ship. The cramped hallways help exemplify the scope of the island and the craziness of the inhabitants, and by god are they insane. Like, oh my god. This is some cannibal holocaust shit. When they get to the island, that's when most audiences begin to clock in and enjoy the film. Like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, if you're a hardcore fan, I recommend getting the extended edition, and also delving into the special features. The making of this film is one of the most interesting and entertaining I've come to see. It serves as an example of the modern day film that is made with heart, not for profit, not for contracts, not for a cinematic universe, but for passion. It truly looked like the cast and crew put everything and anything to have an impact on audiences. Being the first Kong film I saw, this film is the reason why I'm here today making this video. It's had a significant impact on my dreams. Now I haven't made it quite far yet, but who knows.